Why is Nvidia suddenly worth so much? A company that most people barely thought about a few years ago has become one of the most powerful businesses in the world. Nvidia. Its name is now everywhere, from Wall Street to Silicon Valley, from artificial intelligence labs to massive data centers. But how did a company that started by making graphics chips for computers and video games become an AI powerhouse worth trillions of dollars? And more importantly, is Nvidia really worth that much? To understand the answer, we need to go back to the technology behind the AI revolution. For years, computers relied heavily on CPUs, or central processing units. CPUs are extremely powerful and flexible, but artificial intelligence requires something different. Training an advanced AI model can involve performing enormous numbers of mathematical calculations at the same time. That is where GPUs became incredibly important. GPUs, or graphics processing units, were originally designed to process images and video. But Nvidia realized that the same technology could also be used to accelerate scientific computing and artificial intelligence. This turned out to be a massive strategic advantage. As AI technology improved, companies needed more and more computing power. Then came the explosion of generative AI. When tools capable of generating text, images, code, audio, and video suddenly became popular, businesses around the world realized that artificial intelligence could completely change how they operate. And building powerful AI systems requires enormous amounts of computing infrastructure. That created a huge opportunity for Nvidia. Companies such as Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta began investing billions of dollars into data centers and AI infrastructure. And Nvidia became one of the most important suppliers in that race. But here's the part many people miss. Nvidia isn't simply selling a piece of hardware. Its advantage comes from an entire technology ecosystem. One of the most important pieces is Nvidia's CUDA software platform. CUDA allows developers and researchers to use Nvidia GPUs for a huge range of computing tasks. Over the years, millions of developers have built tools, applications, and workflows around Nvidia's technology. That creates something extremely valuable in business, a powerful ecosystem. The more developers use the platform, the more attractive it becomes to companies. And the more companies build around it, the harder it becomes for competitors to replace. This helped Nvidia move far beyond the traditional graphics card business. Today, its technology is deeply connected to AI data centers, cloud computing, scientific research, autonomous systems, robotics, and many other industries. And then there is the money. When demand for AI infrastructure exploded, Nvidia's financial results changed dramatically. Its revenue grew at an extraordinary pace, while its profitability also surged. Investors began to realize that Nvidia wasn't simply benefiting from a temporary technology trend. They were betting that artificial intelligence could become one of the biggest technology platforms in history. Think about what happened with previous technology revolutions. The internet created enormous businesses. Smartphones created enormous businesses. Cloud computing created enormous businesses. Now investors believe AI could create an equally massive economic transformation. And Nvidia is sitting near the center of that transformation. Why is Nvidia suddenly worth so much? But there is another reason investors are watching Nvidia so closely. The company isn't operating in a small market. The potential market for AI computing is enormous. Every major technology company wants more computing power. Cloud providers want more AI servers. Businesses want AI assistance and automation. Researchers want larger models. Robotics companies want intelligent machines. And governments are increasingly interested in advanced computing infrastructure. All of that requires chips, networking, software, and data center infrastructure. Nvidia is positioned across several parts of that ecosystem. But Nvidia's story isn't completely risk-free. The biggest question is competition. Companies like AMD are developing competing AI accelerators. Major cloud companies are also designing some of their own chips. And the technology industry is moving extremely quickly. If competitors can offer similar performance at lower prices, Nvidia's advantage could weaken. There's also another risk. AI spending has grown incredibly fast. Investors are now asking whether this level of spending can continue. If companies eventually decide that they have built enough AI infrastructure, demand could slow down. And when expectations are extremely high, even strong results may not be enough to satisfy investors. That is the unusual position Nvidia finds itself in. The company has enormous opportunities ahead of it, but the expectations surrounding it are also enormous. So, why is Nvidia worth so much? It's not simply because it makes powerful chips. It's because Nvidia found itself at the center of one of the biggest technology shifts in decades. It has hardware. It has software. It has an ecosystem. It has relationships with some of the world's largest technology companies. And most importantly, it has become a critical part of the infrastructure powering the artificial intelligence boom. The real question now isn't whether AI will change the world. The question is how much of that future Nvidia will ultimately control. Because the AI race is still in its early stages, and Nvidia is already sitting in the middle of it. If the AI revolution continues at anything close to its current pace, Nvidia could remain one of the most important technology companies on the planet. But if the competition catches up, AI spending slows, or a new technology changes the game, the story could look very different. That's what makes Nvidia so fascinating. It isn't just a story about one company becoming extremely valuable. It's a story about investors betting on the future of artificial intelligence itself. And that future is only beginning.